Good morning, members of the press. Regarding the events of the past few days, where we had two serious cases of kidnappings. One, the NSTA boss that was kidnapped around Zingeru, and second event took place at the second school in Kagara. As at this moment, we do not have any additional information to give apart from the one that was given earlier on yesterday. But I want to assure you that we're doing everything we can. We're interfacing with the local communities, with federal authorities, and our own state authorities to ensure that we recover the victims safely. Our utmost priority right now is to make sure we bring them back home safe. And that is exactly what we're going to do. So there hasn't been any new information I can give you at this moment. But once we have something for you, we'll let you know. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, Emperor. Well, as at this moment, Emperor, I can say everything is being speculated or rumors. And in situations like this, we cannot work with rumors. It has to be confirmed. So yes, we're hearing, we've been receiving different rumors from different people within villages. And we're still treating those as rumors until processed and confirmed. So we're working on that.
Who are you, please?
Yes, thank you very much. The deplorable state of the school, and if you notice, the school has no fence. We have 60 boarding schools, out of which only 9, as far as I'm concerned, you can call a proper school, and those 9, we renovated them. I think the problem is most previous administrations did not pay attention to these schools. Instead, they paid more attention to investing in new schools. But like I always said, when we came in 2015, I said, listen, our maintenance culture is very bad. I know we politicians, we like to cut the tape. But if we don't maintain what previous administrations have done, because we want to do a new one and cut tapes, we'll find ourselves in a very difficult situation. And that is what is happening. These schools you see have been built 30, 40 years ago. Some of them have not seen paint in 40 years. No paint, no fence. Yes, then 40 years ago, there was a bit of peace. We do not have the security challenges we have now, so it was okay then. But now, our schools must be fenced. So when we came in 2015, we started the whole school approach. Basically, what we did was started rebuilding the schools. And each school cost close to about 350 million or more to do. They were so bad that they didn't have toilets, no fence, no roof. They had blown off roofs, staffs living in very bad conditions. So we decided instead of doing temporary measures, we should rebuild those schools. At the moment, we have rebuilt 9. We have fenced them. We have provided what is required of them. But you see, we take these programs on a zone-by-zone basis because Niger is a very complex state. Niger is 76,000 square kilometers. So we have 3 zones. So once we have resources to fix schools, we don't concentrate on one zone. And within each zone, you have 8 or even 9 local governments. So out of 60 schools spread within 25 states, 25 local governments, 3 zones, in the first phase, we took 3 from each zone. We took Izom from Zone B. We took the girls' school in Mina from Zone B. We took, from Zone A, we took Kutigi and Bida. From Zone C, we took Kwantogora and Rijau. So in total, we have done 9. But I want to draw your attention to please note that the situation we're in today did not start today. It did not start yesterday. It predates even the Kure administration. You can't do this, you can't fix these schools in 20 years. I'm doing this because I know it hasn't been done, because you spend a lot of resources. Most politicians shy away from spending money on such things because politically people don't notice. Most politicians want to commission. But I'm hoping that once we do our bit, once we fix the ones we can fix, I pray subsequent administrations would continue. If in the last 16 years, each administration did 9 like we have done now, then the 9 we're doing now will be, by calculation, that will be 3 times 20, it will be 27. So we would have had 27 good schools, and going forward, other administrations will continue. But now we have started the process, and I'm happy we have started the process, and I'm glad you asked this very important question. This gives us the opportunity for, on a separate note, to really look at the education system, and I've told the Commissioner of Education, all of you will be briefed by Minister of Education and probably see what has been done. I think it is important you see what has been done. The school in Kagara is one of the schools to be attended to, but on the timetable, on the calendar, we haven't reached, it's not their time. But if you go next door, 30 minutes, 20 minutes drive from Kagara to Tegina, you see the narrative is different. Just go next door. You can't take all at the same time. We have 600, over 500 day schools, 60 boarding schools, over 1,000 primary schools. With the primary schools, I think we did much better because we're getting support from UBEC. So out of 1,000, by now we must have done probably about 600. And thankfully, the records are there. We have established some new schools to train teachers, because one of the major problems, apart from the infrastructure, even if you do have a good infrastructure and you don't have the teachers, then it's a waste of time. The ultimate objective is being flouted. So, yes, I'm happy you brought this question, and I want to assure you that we're giving it every attention. Kagara and every other school, not only Kagara and every other school in the state, but we cannot do all. I'm not promising doing all 60 schools, because we do not have the resources. In a state where 80, 85, almost 90% of our revenues go to payment of salaries, and we're not able to cope with the payments. We're still not able to cope. So I like fairness. When you concentrate on the negative, please also look at the positive. I know it's not an excuse, government is to provide, but what is real, what can be done, should be done. But you can't, with the financial problems we're having, I think a lot of efforts have been made, and I can assure you more will be done. Yeah. Well, the anxiety of the parents, whenever we get the opportunity, we try to calm them down. Naturally, when you have your loved one abducted and you don't know the situation they are in, you have to be worried. But people around the Kagara axis are quite comfortable now because they have seen the presence of a lot of security agents, and that has given them hope. But you see, what we're trying to do here, we're using the kinetic and non-kinetic measures to address this problem. We want to bring them back home by all cost, at all cost. So we're doing every possible best we can. You probably saw the gentleman I saw off. We had a meeting with them. It's all part of the efforts, ongoing efforts, using the kinetic and non-kinetic means to bring them back home. So I want to appeal to the parents that we are deeply concerned. Nobody has slept here. They are our children, and we are doing whatever it takes to bring them home. It is my hope, it is my prayer that within the next few hours or days, they should be back home, because a lot has been done. I cannot give you details of what is being done, but a lot has been done. So I think we're reaching the final stages. The anxiety around the increase, just like the schools. Let me be blunt on this. The system has broken down at all levels in governance long time ago. And that's what we're suffering now. It has broken down. Just like we spoke about schools that have not seen any renovation. Some schools 40 years old have not seen paint. 40 years, I was still a young boy myself 40 years ago. Which means some schools, right from the time I was young to date, nobody has paid attention. The same thing applied to the security network. Intelligence, for example. Do we have adequate intelligence? It is always better to be preventive. And the only way to be preventive is when you have very good intelligence, not to allow it happen. Not to allow it happen. Using all methods. Intelligence is key. Even when you have armed military personnel, without the right intelligence, they cannot perform. Okay, in the past we had local intelligence. You had security men in all walks of life. You have security men as shoe shiners. You have security men as barbers. You have security men cutting nail within communities. They watch. You had village heads that will report to the authorities when someone new comes in. But these days, intelligence is technology. You need technology. Niger is 76,000 square kilometers. We try to provide or to support some of the responsibilities of federal authorities by investing in equipment. How many state governments had to invest in equipment, in trackers, drones? But even when you buy this equipment, it's a problem to bring them in because you need the approval from the federal authorities. At the moment, even as a state government, we imported, we bought, we paid for 100% for a drone. Over 3 months ago, it's been ready. We cannot pick it up because of end user certificate. That drone will help security agents on ground because they cannot patrol the forest with vehicles. They can't. No access. So a state like Niger and so many other states that are battling, that are suffering, had to use part of their little resources to invest in these equipments. But even when you buy them, you cannot bring them in. It takes forever to get end user certificate, a lot of protocol. And it shouldn't be like that. I thought when we make our efforts, the least we can get is to expedite action in bringing them, because when we bring this equipment, in any case, They will be operated by federal authorities, not us. So we're only supporting. Why is it taking 3 months for a drone to come in? Situation like this is when we need those drones. It's simple as that. Yes. When you spoke to who? I don't know when you spoke to him. You spoke to him now? You spoke to him? I'm not aware of that interview. I don't know when he had an interview. But yes, we had a discussion with him, and he's going to come back with me with a summary of his findings. So I'm waiting to get an official report from him before we take a decision. Yeah?
Okay, please, let's have the last question.
Excellency,
Yes.
a while ago, you had a visitor in your office.
Yes.
Last stage, what do you get from the visitor?
My visitor, and not just my visitor, Shegumi Malangumi has been on this voluntarily for some time. You recall that he was in Zamfara, Katsina, and any other state that has the same problem we're having now. He also offered to assist. And at this point, whoever has anything to help with, we're ready to listen. So he came back early this morning. Unfortunately, we did not have much time to talk. He has to go for a burial in Abuja. But what we have agreed is he's going to send me a comprehensive memo of his findings and suggestions on what he thinks we should do. And hopefully I shall have that between today and tomorrow. No, somebody else. That one, Agbada was.
Sorry, sir. I want to also do a follow-up and perhaps an addition. Moving forward, sir, when this incident happened on Wednesday, precisely you said 4 local governments that are prone to bounding attack, boarding schools that are closed down. And we do know that there are several other boarding schools in the state. So moving forward, what are the mechanisms that we put in place and we don't see this kind of incident in Niger State?
Well, I'm a state governor. I'm confined to maximum vigilantes under my control. Maximum. Yes, I have police, I have military. They respect me. We meet, we have security meetings. But I don't have a total control. For example, if I have a non-performing commissioner of police, I can't change him. Or a brigade commander. They're not under me. So, to give guarantees on the part of the state government, what we need to do is to secure our schools, which we are already doing. Most of the schools are not fenced. In the case of Kagara, Kagara has no fence, and that's why it was easy for them to just walk in. If there was a fence, it would have been more difficult. So while we're working with federal authorities, they are being overstretched, they are trying their best. The Commissioner of Police is here every day, the brigade commander is here every day, we meet. But how many men do they have under their control to police 76,000 square kilometers? Some local governments have less than 40 policemen. Some. In some towns, you see 1. In many towns, you see 0. And that is why we have to strengthen and improve and re-engineer the local vigilante system. So once On the state side, we're able to put in place measures that will make it harder for bandits to access schools. It will give us some comfort. We still have a lot of schools that are not fenced. They've never been fenced. We made them that way. We have started the process. It's a slow process, very expensive process, but we have to do it. And in doing such things, like I said, Niger is a very complex state. You have to do it on you all know, on a zone by zone basis, even within the zone, on a local by local. Because if I did 4 in this zone and I did 1, they'll say, it's because I'm not Bagi. Or they'll say, it's because I'm not Hausa. That is the problem. So whatever you do, you have to spread. You have to spread it among 3 zones. Because this state, many people don't understand, is a very complicated state. Whatever you do, somebody is criticizing. Because we have 3 major language tribes, Hausa, Bagi, and Nufe. So whatever you do as a governor, if you want peace, you must divide into 3. For fairness, for equity. And that will make the process slow, but in the long run, is ongoing. It's ongoing. But I mean, I'm very hopeful, and I believe if we had, if not because when we came in 2015, there was a huge decline in resources, as you all know, we would have done more. But unfortunately, with the little resources we have, we've only been able to do 9. But going forward, because of this emergency, I've told the Commissioner of Education, even if we don't fix the schools, we should at least fence them. To provide more security, we actually fence them. So fencing exposed schools will be a priority, and I believe it will help. And at the same time, working with the local vigilantes and the local traditional rulers, I've called for a meeting with all the first-class emirs on Tuesday and all the ROs, all the Fulani heads in Niger State on Tuesday to discuss. Sometimes we need to understand ourselves to find a solution. Maybe they also have problems. Maybe. So we need to talk to them to read their minds and to understand what their problems are so that we can address it. And the truth of the matter is, since independence, no one has paid attention to headsmen who are mostly Fulanis, because not all headsmen are Fulanis, but at least 90% are Fulanis. Nobody has paid attention to them. Nobody has paid attention to their education. All we do is we see them on market days, they come and we see them, we laugh. They come from the forest to the market day, they buy what they want and they go. Nobody paid attention. Nobody. So they were moving from place to place with their cattle being attacked. But now the time has come to stop all that practice. It is no longer feasible. There are no cattle routes anymore. As long as they move their cattle from different towns or from different states or from different countries down south, there will be problem. Because there are no cattle routes, because our population has increased. We're about 200 million now. More people are farming. We have paid more attention to farmers. We have paid more attention to farmers. All the programs, all the incentives to farmers, zero to herders. They also add to the GDP. They also will increase our economy. They also can create jobs if planned very well. So the time has come to look at them and to capture them in the system. And that must be done for an everlasting peace. What else?
Please.
I did not tell you I know the location of the bandits. I did not tell you I know the location of the bandits because I'm not in the forest. I said we're using both kinetic and non-kinetic measures. Both kinetic and non-kinetic measures we're using.
Please excuse us. We are all
I'm not considering resigning anything. One. Two, this is the first time that students are being kidnapped in Niger State. Yes, they've been kidnapped in Kagara in Katsina State. But this is the first time children are being kidnapped in Niger State. Who's next? Yes, I can tell you that.
So I don't know whether the state intend you are going to reach out to stakeholders to complement the effort of the ongoing fight against criminality.
When you say
What we have in Niger, in other states, let's talk about Niger. What we have in Niger, you have complement the effort of the police by refurbishing their vehicles. Your colleagues in other states are procuring more vehicles to complement the effort of their respective government. What is the position of the state?
well,
Who can meet the security agencies and tackling this menace?
now let me start with the cooperation existing between the state government and the police or security agencies. For example, we support their operations. And like you said, it costs a lot of money. I can't go into details because these are security matters. For every officer or soldier or policeman out on the streets, there's a daily allowance being paid by the state government. If you do the calculation, it's a lot of money. Ordinarily, one would have thought it would come from the federal. But because the federal is overwhelmed, it's difficult. So we have to support. A few moments ago, I mentioned our efforts in supporting intelligence by providing some equipment to DSS, and at the moment we have a drone for operations that is yet to come. It costs a lot of money. Every governor wants to see peace within his state, and when called upon to support, he will. But like I said, there's something wrong with our intelligence, because it's better to prevent than to allow this to happen. It's better to prevent. So when you mention stakeholders, I see stakeholders are not only the police or military, the traditional rulers are stakeholders. The village heads, the ward heads, they all have something to offer. We must come together, and that will be my message on Tuesday. The village heads, the ward heads should be able to know people within their domain. They should be able to alert us when they see suspected people within their domain. Now the system must change, the structure must change. In the past, when traditional leaders had more powers, in days when you pay cattle tax, you don't have these issues. Because when you pay cattle tax, they call jangali, apart from revenue generating, is like a monitoring system. Every herdsman pays cattle tax, and he's given a receipt. With that receipt, you're able to say, this man is coming from this place. Now, maybe, I don't know if it's possible or not, maybe it's difficult to bring jangali back, but we must have some form of a monitoring system to monitor people that enter our country or move within borders within our states. We must. Our borders are so porous. Where do you think these arms are coming from? Through our borders. And to monitor a border or a country like Nigeria, almost 1 million square kilometers, you need equipment. You need equipment, you need special aircrafts, 24/7. You need special drones. You can't do it manually. So I think the state governments and the federal need to come together, join hands, get the experts, and decide what is needed to protect our borders. Let's protect our borders first. Let's know, then internally, let's study movements internally. Let's give more responsibility to our village heads, our ward heads. Let's task them. You have to break down the network all the way down. Because as designed, the way it is designed, you have the ward heads, the district heads, the village heads. So if you use that structure very well, I believe you get some peace. I think so.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.